My name is Angie Bukley, and I'm the Chief Engineer for Human Exploration at the Aerospace Corporation here in Houston, Texas. Today, I'll be talking about challenges and opportunities for NASA going forward. The work presented is part of the Aerospace Space Agenda 2021. NASA has embarked on a number of programs to return humans to the moon over the last 3 decades. The President issued a challenge to NASA on March 26 of 2019 when Vice President Pence announced that the United States will land the first woman and the next man on the moon by 2024. So let's talk about the 3 major programs that have been initiated to return humans to the moon. The first one was announced by George H.W. Bush in 1989 and was known as the Space Exploration Initiative. It was determined that the program would be very, very expensive and take a very long time to fulfill, over 30 years. So it was terminated in 1993 by President Clinton. The second initiative to return humans to the moon was called the Vision for Space Exploration under George W. Bush, and it started in January of 2004. But in 2009, after the Augustine Commission found that it was over budget and behind schedule, the Obama administration canceled the Constellation program. Constellation morphed into the Exploration Systems Development Program, meant to get humans to the moon by the late 2020s. Work on the Space Launch System began in 2011. Work on the other systems continued on. That led to the transition of the Exploration Systems Development Program to the Artemis program. That name was chosen because Artemis is the twin sister of Apollo. The Artemis program continues with the major system elements under development. However, they're all behind schedule, all are over budget, except for the Human Landing System, which is still being designed for down select. The results so far: Artemis continues development of the various system elements, building on ESD, and is managed out of 3 different NASA centers. The system elements include the Space Launch System, the Human Landing System, Exploration Ground Systems, Orion, and the Gateway. There are also many activities going on the policy side of things, including the Artemis Accords that were issued in May, calling for the safe and cooperative development of space resources. Already 7 countries have signed on with the United States. In July, the White House and the National Space Council issued a new era for deep space exploration and development, laying out a whole-of-government approach for transferring from low Earth orbit operations over to commercial enterprise, then establishing sustainability on the moon, followed by the commercialization of those activities, and then setting our sights on Mars. The findings of our examination of the Artemis program fall into 3 categories. First category is program management challenges. Transforming from operations mode to a systems design mode is really difficult. NASA has been in ops mode for over 30 years, and now they're having to deal with designing major systems. Exacerbating the situation is that most of the individuals who have the corporate knowledge have retired or they're very near retirement. There's always funding challenges associated with NASA programs. It seems there's never quite enough funding provided, and the mission definitions change. The second category are technical challenges. The Space Launch System has been fraught with technical and manufacturing issues from the beginning, leading to schedule and budget overruns. The Artemis architecture elements are meant to self-integrate with coordination through the Cross Systems Integration Working Group, which means that the SLS, Orion, and the Ground Support System, which are all being developed at different NASA centers, will come together with minimal oversight from headquarters. The Artemis mission concepts of operation are also not yet fully developed, even though 3 missions are already being planned. The third category that we considered were policy considerations. The Trump administration has been highly active in the space enterprise, but one has to ask, are we trying to move too fast? A sustainable lunar presence means harvesting and using in situ resources. The Artemis Accords are a great first step for governments, but we need to think about what happens when private enterprise gets involved. And finally, transitioning smoothly from low Earth orbit operations to lunar operations to Mars operations requires planning, and the requisite policies to support it. But there are opportunities for NASA. The Artemis program is different from all the other exploration initiatives so far because it inherently includes private enterprise and is actively seeking solutions from industry. NASA is becoming a user, with commercial companies becoming the supplier of hardware and services. And a good example is the Commercial Lunar Payload Services Project. Finally, in situ resource utilization will be key to the success of any lunar outpost, and it also provides potential for private enterprise if a business case can be wrapped around it. The NASA leadership is thinking of more than just flags and footprints, as evidenced by the overall Artemis program plan. They're looking to the future enthusiastically and optimistically. Thank you for your attention. Houston out.